gotta go faster than the speed of light, far beyond the speed of light. You gotta break the rule, Barry, and you gotta do it now. Whatever happens, I want you to know your kid was one of them, Dad. One of the best of the best.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and some interesting updates from that lunatic DC actor, Ezra Miller, who has apparently a very interesting past all coming to light now. It makes you start to wonder how much of this that, did DC know about? How much of this were they accepting? Because I think that they knew more than they're letting on. You see this article just yesterday report, yes, Warner Brothers is aware they have an Ezra Miller problem. The Flash was supposed to launch a new and profitable chapter for the studio. Now it's a, quote, hope for the best. Well, maybe you don't hire like lunatics. I mean, if you've seen like the body cam footage of him getting, having his interaction with police and things of that nature, this dude is not well. Now you have a bunch of children coming forward and saying terrible things about him, parents coming out and saying terrible things about him, and everyone in Hollywood is just silent because he wraps himself in the LGBTQIA flag, and nobody can say anything. Like, the guy is a predator. It's just what he is. Nobody in Hollywood is saying anything. As far as I know, he hasn't been arrested. It had been well known in Hollywood, many of the things that he had done, and he retained his position as the Flash, which is just deplorable. How do you cut the fastest man alive off at the pass? Just a short while ago, the Flash seemed like a solid bet for Warner Brothers. Trusted recent hitmaker Andy Muschietti, is at the helm. Ben Affleck will make a Bat appearance, as well as Michael Keaton, after seemingly burying that notion with the Oscar-winning Birdman. The Flash character is a fan favorite, entering the Speed Force, blah, blah, blah. There's also the fact that Ezra Miller is, most would agree, very good at the role of Central City's Barry Allen, a.k.a. The Flash, but there's been trouble. While the movie, which wrapped production in October 2021, waits for its June 2023 release, Miller continues a reported rampage of bad press. I always use that right pronoun. They were arrested in Hawaii twice, and then also claimed that they were emotionally and physical with someone who was 18 when they first met when they were 12, and made themselves unavailable to court officials wishing to serve a restraining order. And finally, a second restraining order was taken out against them to protect yet another young one from them. Deadline reported this weekend that the studio's already put $200 million into this movie. Like, this is a disaster. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to release it? Like, you're going to have to do something, right? They're not going to just shelve it, are they? This is Hollywood. They're not going to do that. There's no way. There's no winning in any of this for Warner Brothers, a source at the studio told the trade outlet. There is hope that the scandal will remain at a low level before the movie gets released, and a hope for the best to turn out. Deadline wrote that WB isn't just keeping their fingers crossed and hoping this goes away. CEO and president in the newly merged Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, originally wished for The Flash to act as a foundation for a widening slate of mainstream hits for the studio. Ouch. Well, maybe you shouldn't have put, all your eggs in the lunatic basket. Earlier this week, Miller deleted their Instagram account after uploading strange images, including one that says, "You cannot touch me, I am in another universe." While no definitive action has been set in place, Deadline also wrote that sources have indicated that even if no more allegations surface, the studio will not keep Ezra Miller in the role of Flash in the future DC films. I've got a separate article about that. Of course he's fired. Of course he's fired. As far as the what to do about next June's release, Many options are on the table, including heavily restricting the publicity tour or even releasing the film only on HBO Max for a, quote, write-down, meaning they'll release it knowing that it's going to lose money and just accepting that. Like, not even trying to put it in the movie theaters. They're just giving up on it. Meanwhile, the Miller controversy has already been thrown speed bumps into would-be corporate synergy. In September, DC Comics will release its first in the series called The Fastest Man Alive, meant as a run-up to the movie's release. The cover, illustrated by Muschietti himself, features Miller's likeness, caught mostly whatever, not wearing anything, getting into his Flash costume, causing some comic book outlets to wonder if that was a good idea. It wasn't. It wasn't a good idea in the first place. And you see this printed yesterday, published June 20th. Flash star Ezra Miller hit with another protection order by family of someone who is 12. Miller has also been, this dude is a creep. And they're avoiding, I imagine that the PD wants to talk to the guy. Now, only smaller outlets. Here's, Mamma Mia writes, it's an R. Kelly type situation. Why everyone is talking about Ezra Miller. I assure you that there is far more that has happened that people in Hollywood or people close to him know about that we won't know about for a very long time. Like that, I'm just certain of that. And you have, here's a report: Ezra Miller removed from Warner Brothers and DC's Flash franchise, according to new reports. Again, these are on the entry level rumor websites, but I mean, Vanity Fair is basically confirming that these rumors, that these rumors are true, and that they're basically going with that. So and of course they have to. They have no chance. And it's like, man, they just got the Flash off the ground. By the way, not a Flash guy. Don't really care for Flash. But he's got a cool ability. Just not really. It was never really a Flash guy. But I know some people really like him as a character. I'm sure they don't love Ezra, but they like the character. You see, 2 months ago, Miller made news for throwing a chair at someone in Hawaii. This is not the first time he's done something like this. Recently, the actor, who identifies as non-binary, don't care, shared a barrage of memes in reaction to the claims of grooming and later deleted their Instagram account. I assume this dude just assumes that this is going to go away. I'm assuming that their agent or whatever said, hey, just hide from all this creepy behavior. Don't worry. Hollywood will protect you. We're good. You're going to be fine. But now Zaslav's first movie, Crisis: What to Do with Ezra Miller, the erratic star of Warner Brothers' $200 million Flash franchise launch. Deadline has heard the studio tried getting help for him. Well, of course they did. But the troubling headlines continue to pile up. Could you send a potential liability on a global publicity tour and have the actor anchor a huge studio franchise play? No. I mean, that's, sources said even if no more claims surface, they will not keep Miller. I mean, I would, of course, of course. Yeah, and this guy is unhinged. Has nothing to do with them being non-binary. I would argue that maybe they're doing that to try and as a shield for their bad behavior or something like that. I don't know, but this is also, remember when they went after a fan and was it in Iceland? Pushed him down on the ground like a lunatic. I remember that. The studio knew about that. Thought it was fine. Because the studios, what they do is they say, oh, we'll get them help. Yeah, like the kind you got for Harvey or Bill. Because make no mistake about it, everyone knew about both of these guys. Both of them. Everyone in Hollywood knew. They covered for them and they ignored it. And they sat next to them at expensive dinners and they promoted their movies and they starred in their films or whatever, and nobody cared. So why would I expect anyone in Hollywood to care about Ezra? It's truly hilarious how Ezra weaponized wokeness and started calling himself they, and so woke clowns don't know how to react to all his criminal behavior because he is officially now in an oppressed group, and woke thinks that these are saint angels and can't do anything wrong. So now they don't even comment. If he were just to be a white male, they would be all over him and demanding his cancellation. 100% true. 100% true. I mean, smash like if you agree. But now he's oppressed, so they barely even talk about the subject. Smart people told woke clowns that bad people will do that and weaponize it, but they were too stupid and narcissistic to understand that. This will happen more and more. Abusers will use woke to shield themselves from responsibility. 100% true. Absolutely no doubt about it. And, you know, I have no sympathy for these lunatics that are, I mean, nobody's saying anything about this guy? Why? Because he wears lipstick? He's not allowed to, you're not allowed to criticize him? DC has a $200 million problem, and I hope they lose all of it because they're the ones that enabled this behavior. They're the ones that aren't saying anything about it. All the people that are in this movie with him, I feel bad for them, but they're not saying anything about it. The crew, all the people that worked on the film, they're not, you know, they're not responsible for this. It's none of his fellow actors and actresses called him out. So tough cookies. Hope you enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.